What up, everyone? Oh, okay, Danny. Welcome to another episode of the Roundtable. Corey G is out today, so we are filling in, and we got a special guest, Jacob Emery, the CEO of Lang Pipe, correct?
Pipe master.
Yeah, the pipe master.
Pipe laying.
Yeah, but
No, it's in the background. Keep going. Keep going.
okay, but yeah, today, we got Jake on. We're cutting it up. Basically, we're gonna be asking him some business questions, some life questions, dad questions, all of it. So we got Tyler Sealover on too. Tyler, how about you? Start it off. What question you got for Jake?
How'd you get so big?
Just worked out, ate a lot. That's about it.
Simple science.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's
Simple
talk about
science.
that for a second. Okay, can you define what being not small is for the audience here? What is not being small to you?
So not small is more about a mindset than it is anything else.
That's facts.
So it's mental, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're small, if you think you're fucking yoked, you're yoked.
Yeah,
Right?
that's facts.
Yeah.
It's confidence. That's what it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
All comes back to confidence.
At what age did you develop in your thinking that, wow, I am not small? At what age were you not
That's
small?
probably 6.
I was going to say,
6
it's pretty,
years old.
it's pretty early.
Were you
That's probably 6.
just dogging on everyone like in the school playground, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always a big boy. So
Yeah.
probably 6.
Interesting.
All right,
Yeah.
Like, kids didn't want to play with you because you would, like, hurt them, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. So obviously, having the not small confidence, breeds into every aspect of life.
That's it.
Gym, relationships, whatever. But I kind of want to go into the business aspect. I guess having confidence in business and, you taking over the CEO role at your company, like, let's talk about that a little bit.
Go back and listen to the first episode with Jake, by the way.
Yeah, of
For
course.
sure.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
that
got
some
details
more
it out a little
backstory.
bit.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, really it's all what's your end goal? Where do you want to be at in your life? And for me, I told myself at 22, 23, I'm going to own this company by the time I'm 30. Nobody believed me but me. And then I just went to work, made it happen. And it didn't matter who said I couldn't do it. I knew I could. And then I did.
Why do you think you're so certain about that? Like, what?
Just
you
fucking
just
knew. I
absolutely
knew
knew it
Yeah.
intuitively.
I knew I was going to. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason why I should have been able to, because even to this day, the way everything happened, I should not have been able to. I was broke. I had nothing, right? But
Yeah.
just
Was there like
determination.
a rough outline or plan or some like concrete steps that you had in your mind, or was it just kind of flying by the seat of your pants?
see the pants.
Yeah.
Just fucking figure it out.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
To
Don't
kinda
follow
understand.
the rules. Sometimes you just
There
don't
are
have
no
the-
rules in
right,
business.
Right.
Yeah.
Go to business school, okay?
Yeah.
But
Then what?
that's not going to teach you how to run a business. Go work for a business, or start
Yeah.
a business, however you want to do it.
Yeah, I think that like is a true testament to what we do here at Max Effort. Think about how quickly things change and how things move and everything. We're
For sure.
pivoting this way and that way all the time.
Yeah.
So it's hard to even have a plan.
There's no like traditional business anymore. I mean, you look at school, you go to school to learn, right? Education, a lot of school is memorization. Well, I can get on my phone in 10 seconds, I can tell you anything I can learn in school.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need to know everything that you were taught in school, right?
Yeah,
I need to know about taxes, finances. Them things are more important than, the 7th president of the United States.
yeah, just
sure.
a regurgitation of
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is here is like we run into problems all the time. There's always some new issue or some new thing that we have to work on. And I think the biggest thing is we all are very quick at finding the solution. And that's pretty much the mindset you have to have is solution based. You have to have that mindset.
Yeah. So I am in the solution industry. I'm not in the problem industry. Do not bring me a problem if you don't have a solution. I don't care if it's right or wrong. It might be a bad one. I might say that was horrible. Let's think about this. But do not bring me problems. I want solutions, to come with it.
Yeah.
I look at problems like opportunities. So something comes up. The plastic bottles can't get plastic. That was a problem that became an opportunity that actually changed the business for Max, right?
Yep.
It ended up being a good thing. So when something happens in your business or in your training, whatever it is, figure out what the solution is to make something bad become good. So I'm
Yeah.
all about glass half full all the time.
So yeah, do you have like a lot of your workers come up to you with problems and solutions? Is that like in
More
their
problems.
mindset?
Even management, it's majority problems. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
It's-
how do you foster that kind of mindset? Is it kind of like a teaching moment where you're sitting down whiteboarding, with people, or how do you go about?
Depending on the complexity of it, normally I can tell them right away what to do.
Gotcha.
Come
Okay.
with a problem, I already know the solution because I've been there and done it. Or,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it's simple for me. But
Do like your, I guess, higher level guys do, like they basically come to you for like the final seal of approval, or do you like instill in them that you trust them with whatever their instinct
So
is?
it depends on the level of it. It'll be Mary Cody. They'll come to us on depending on the avenue. Some things, call and get approval for. Some things we give them the go ahead. Depends on the high level, how big it is. But like on the day-to-day operations, I have very little in that outside of a conversation in the afternoon every other day, a review. But I'm in all the scheduling, all the meetings, and the emails. But I'm not in the actual call. So we have a guy that does all of our operational stuff, and I don't do anything with it.
So yeah, you're not really handling that.
It kind of reminds me of going back to the 4-hour work week when he basically became his own bottleneck, and then until he empowered his customer service team with hey, you have the ability to do these 5 things without the approval, and then it kind of opened the floodgates, for expansion and growth and stuff like that. So.
And one thing we're going through right now is structure. You guys see it with Max. It's a non-traditional business, but with ours, 85 employees all over Ohio. Different regions, different territories. Guys coming from 3 or 4 different states that work for us. We have to have structure and we have to have processes. So a lot of what we do is structure based, and I'm not a structure person, but visionary or whatever you want to call it. I can come up with an idea, but I'm not going to see it through. So everything we do, we're developing checklists. So eliminating human error for what we do is huge because we're in a dangerous industry. Putting pipe in the ground, natural gas, it can get ugly. So we want to make sure that everyone has a checklist of what they need to do and they follow it. We're training in the right way. We're in the process of looking at some different operating systems and stuff, so we can develop extraordinary systems and not have to have extraordinary people. Where we can bring in people that don't have to be the best at that position because the system will allow them the growth opportunity. Yeah,
for sure. Because whenever you took over, there were no systems, correct?
0.
There was nothing.
Nothing.
So can you talk about that? How tough was that process, mentally, trying to even start to get the first system in place?
Or where do you even begin?
Yeah, where?
Right.
It was so. The vice president was gone within 6 months, and the controller was gone within 6 months of buying the company. So the 2 people that really knew how to run that business were gone. So it was pretty much 4 of us running the whole entire operation, 3-4 months. And what we did is we started outsourcing. We got smart people in the room, brought in a CFO, hired an accounting manager, and then just started picking the battles, the most important. We want to make sure that we're getting paid, we're paying our vendors, and our guys are getting paid. If them 3 things are covered, the rest of it, we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But them 3 things have to be done. You don't want to not, trust me, if them guys don't have a paycheck at 5 o'clock in the morning on Friday, they're going to call you, say, where the fuck's my money at? Right? Like clockwork.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
all week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys live paycheck to paycheck, so they're looking at it, making sure it's there.
Yeah, it is interesting, viewing it as finding where the starting point is, and then from there, then you start to gain a little bit of momentum. You're figuring out how to run the business, even though you might not know where to even begin in the first place.
And normally you're not gonna know, but there's gonna be things that come up that you have to figure out what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
It's a glaring weakness right here. We have no accounting department. We have to get this fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So we hire people, bring them in, and then it's management, operations, safety, the different departments. There's something that comes up where, oh shit, we need somebody there. And it's been that way, and we're to the point now where we have our team around us. So now we're developing the system for the team and the processes. That's the kind of the next stage.
So let's talk about the team building process. What are some of the characteristics and values and abilities that you look for in your employees?
So we have a very good safety culture. We actually won an award for a safety award. It was massive. It was throughout the United States, thousands of different companies. We were number 1. So safety is the number 1 value. Quality is the second one. Our quality of work, what we go do, the final product, our name's on the side of the truck. We want to make sure our quality is always there. And then, teamwork, integrity, them are different things. We want our guys to represent the company very well. No different than I would, walking down the street, talking to a homeowner. our guys, we want them to buy into what we're doing, and they have. They have. We've created the culture and allowed them the opportunity to voice their opinion. So we have like safety teams. They'll come in once a month. They'll sit down. It'll be anybody. So it could be a guy that just started, a guy that's been there 10 years. And they'll sit down and go through different issues they see, discuss it, and then have an action plan moving forward of what to do next. So letting everyone's voice be heard is huge. Let everyone have their opinion, have their input. It helps a ton.
I think it's great that you keep that in place.
Mm-hmm. Have to. Yeah, it's huge for the culture. Because it's not about me. It's not about the management. It's about the guys out in the field. So what are we doing to help them be more successful?
Because
we have to help them.
Well, and if that happens, I mean, it's kind of like it's a revolving door. Everything keeps moving then, because then if you have those systems and it helps your people and you serve your people, well, then they serve the company at large, which serves everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So it's maybe just like a cycle, and make sure those things are in place. And if so, the machine will take care of everything, right? Yeah. If it's set up right.
Me and Cody have a non-traditional thought process. So we tell people, technically you work for us, but we're here to help you. So what can we do to support you to make you better at your job? So, and we tell people that all the time. How can I help you out? And people that have worked for corporate companies or been other places are like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, right. I'm supposed to be doing this for you. And I'm like, no. We want to help you out because we want you to excel. So we don't have to do that position. We don't want to be the operations manager. We have bigger aspirations than being that management. So we want to support them the best we can.
Interesting. Yeah. So I guess on the flip side, what's some of the things that you see that you're like, oh nope, that's a big no, you're out.
And
like what?
Give me more
I guess what are
what do you have zero tolerance for?
Yeah, zero tolerance.
I mean, what's like a red flag?
What are the red flags? Because I'm assuming with some of your guys, the turnover.
Aside from safety,
are they getting a warning and then
anytime. So a lot of people want to tell me how great they are and not go do it, right? Don't come in and tell me you're the best. Go show me you're the best. Don't tell me how great you are, what you can do. I've been doing this for 30 years. Well, I don't care what you did for 30 years because you weren't here doing it. So, do you operate the way we do? Normally people will show their ass pretty quick. So, sometimes it's better just to keep your mouth quiet and people think you're an idiot than to open it and confirm you are,
Yeah.
So people that come in with that chip on their shoulder want to prove a point, got to be the loudest guy, it doesn't work in our industry. It'll get exposed real quick.
I mean, it sounds like it probably carries over into the gym and other parts of your life too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
you see some little dude walk in, he's telling you he can bench press 600 pounds. You're like, all right, right? Like better right away. Yeah. And it's the same. You can normally spot it pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure. Bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned that turnover, and obviously that'll expose itself, because if it's only a matter of time before somebody weeds themselves out, especially in an operation as sophisticated as yours. You require the diligence with safety and everything. So aside from the team as a whole and whatever group or team they're working with, say it's out in the field, aside from them operating and managing the safety of it all and the teamwork of everything, that'll show itself, and that'll showcase and let. So if someone's paying attention, long story short, they can watch, and after long enough they'll be like, okay, I see from their actions that I should work this way. So let's say someone's there, or it's a handful of people, and for them it's a culture problem. So you think that they've been there for long enough to where they haven't been weeded out yet, so they're still there, so they haven't turned themselves over, but they're just not catching on, and they're not, or even if it's consciously, they're not working in like the rest of the team is showcasing and they should be. How do you convey that culture and uphold that standard of operation?
So we do employee evaluation. So like our foremen will do, they got a crew of 4 guys. They'll do an evaluation on everyone on that crew. We do 15, 30, and I think 45 or 90 day, from new hire.
Yep.
So we do evaluations on everyone and go through, and then we sit down with them, say, here's where you're good, here's where you're bad, here's what you need to do to improve. If it's all bad, here's what you need to do to improve, or we're going to have to let you go. And transparency is key. Being honest with someone, like, hey, you show up late too much, you show up late again, you're out of here. That's it. We're not going to motherfuck you. We're not going to cuss you out. We're going to just tell you this is what we expect, and if you can't do it, then someone else will. And that's it.
Yeah.
So the employee evaluations, we just implemented that last year, and that was a big thing for us to see where everyone's at, and then every tier of management gets an evaluation done on them. different timelines. But me and Cody might do one on our operations guy. He might do one on a different manager that's working under him, like an area supervisor, and then project managers will do foremans and just down the line. And that really lets us know what the temperature of the room is for the guys, especially new hires.
Sure.
Because you never know who you're getting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess one more question for me real quick to piggyback on that. So you mentioned the evaluation and feedback at the management level. That might be a little bit different. Do you approach that differently, and do you have to approach that differently than maybe your field guys?
Yeah, definitely. So the management has a lot more insight on the big picture, so they know where we're going, what we're doing, but we have to hold them to a higher standard also. So the questioning and the way we approach that is a lot different. It's more complex, and it's more in depth about the future of the business and where we're heading. And then handling situations, different things that come up, we'll address them immediately. So if a guy fires someone and there's confrontation, whatever it might be, we'll address it then and take care of it. So we won't let it ride until it's time for that evaluation. We'll handle it on the spot.
Got it.
So management is a lot different animal.
Understood.
For sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Trey, what are you thinking over there?
Well, so I remember last time that we had Jake on the podcast, he talked about that one of his big things on just how he had so much knowledge in the business in the first place is that he grew up in that business. He was working there. He basically worked all the different positions and everything like that. So I was kind of curious, once then you got to that management role and you kind of had the opportunity to assess the business, what were some things that you were damn, when I was working there in that position, that really sucked and I want that to change, so I want to go back and be able to change that for them.
Great question.
So being surrounded by incompetence for as long as I was allowed me to advance very quick, because there wasn't a lot of people that had my mindset, and a lot of people thought I was lazy because I wasn't working the hardest, but I was out working everyone from an intelligence standpoint. So I might not be the guy that's down in the ditch working my ass off physically, but mentally I'm 100 steps ahead of everybody. And as that went on, we fixed so many things that were wrong, so it allowed us to develop moving forward the ability and the skill to eliminate incompetence. I learned more about the business in general from watching it done the wrong way than I did watching it being done the right way.
Yeah.
So what we've done is fix the things that we knew were wrong, and we created systems, or we're creating systems to make it almost idiot proof. You don't have to be that smart in the industry to do it. So we want it to be more training and education throughout what we have to do, and not rely on the ability to catch on in the skill. And I grew up kind of redneck little school, race motocross, always on equipment, whatever. So I understood this from a young age. That's going away, between just social media, just the nature of the beast. Right now we don't have a lot of farm boys coming and working for us. Not a lot of guys that grew up doing this. A lot of them do it because it's an opportunity to make money now, where before it was everyone did that was it. Construction was huge because no one could afford to go to college or didn't want to go, and it's going the other way now. Everyone wants to go to school but don't have a direction out of school.
Interesting. Yeah. I would say for most of us like me, Tyler, and Trey, we started out as basically free interns. And I think us basically learning the ins and outs of just product fulfillment here at Max helped us then, now we're in these higher positions, understand more of what the business requires, what it needs, and the opportunities to basically build the systems to make things better.
Right. So always prevent, bring value. So you guys brought value with no expectation of return, and your value showcase itself and then provide an opportunity. So anytime I seek out someone, whether I want advice or just to network with them, I'm going to them to give them something, and I'm not asking anything in return. And normally you'll get respect right away. But if you come to me and say, hey, I want to start this business, can we do lunch? I'm not just going to sit down and say, yeah, let's do lunch, tell me about your business. I'm going to say, hey, send me an outline of what you want to do, go through all the steps. And then if I know you're about it, I'll sit down with you. Hell yeah, I want to see everybody do good.
Yeah.
And it separates people when you go to them offering something for nothing, no expectation of return.
1,000%. Because I think, most of us, we would just come in here for hours, literally pack sacks. The first few months I was here, I didn't ask a single fucking question. Because just like you said, I'm the type of person who, I'm not going to just say something to say something.
Right.
I'll just, mind my own business and listen and acknowledge and stuff like that.
Fly on the wall.
Yeah, fly on the wall and just like listen and observing, but also putting in hard work,
Well, and you're also developing a skill. So when you came here, you probably didn't know what direction you were going to head.
No.
Right? You didn't know that you're going to be the graphic gangster.
Fuck
like
no.
you didn't know that, right? You were just here doing your test boosters, right? You always talk about that. But you provided value, and then you figured out your lane. You figured out a niche, and then you made the opportunity happen.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone who's potentially in their first job in their career? How can they basically separate themselves and get that, advancement? Because probably a lot of our listeners are not in an environment like this where it's easily that attainable. You can just say it, but more like prove it.
So figure out, first of all, do you fit that culture of that, whatever industry you're in, do you fit the culture? And what do you want to do for the rest of your life? For me, do I want to be, putting pipe in the ground myself all the time? No, that's not my end goal. My end goal is freedom. Freedom of time and freedom of money I talk about all the time. I want to provide financially enough to do whatever the hell I want. So what is your end goal? And if you figure out what you want to do in your life, then assess your current situation. So are you in an atmosphere that you enjoy being in? Are you miserable going to work every day? If you wake up miserable every day going to work, it's probably not for you. And so many people get stuck being comfortable because I got a paycheck. I'm good with what's going on in my life because I got money coming in, but that's temporary, or you're going to be miserable the rest of your life. So figuring out what your niche is, figuring out what makes you happy, that's the most important thing. And then after that, translate that into what you want to do career-wise. Not a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know, but I knew that when I was young, I was like, I'm going to go work, make money. And then a couple years doing that, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy this fucker.
So to go right off this real quick, I know G kind of has talked about this in the past too, is like, what is your version of a perfect day look like?
I can wake up when I want. I can do what I want that day. And I can do it on my time. Because now it's different,
So what are you doing? I want to know what Jake Emery's doing on
a
his
daily.
perfect day.
Well, right now I'm smoking a cigar, talking on a podcast. Hey, guess what? I can do it, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of a psychopath. I wake up at 3. I want to train, for a few hours. Go home. Normally, audiobook, emails for an hour. Go to the office, and then I'm starting to lay my day, my weeks out where every day I pretty much know what I need to do, and then I know what can carry over.
Yeah.
There's action items that have to be taken care of. Like today, this has to be done. Most of the time, they'll have it dialed in where, okay, I got to get all this done. Well, that's going to take me 2 hours. What else can I do this day? Or, it's a nice sunny day out. I want to go home and hang out with my daughters. I'm going to go do that. So
you're fucking dialed now.
It's a lot better now. It used to be, 15 hours a day just to survive, building the business, the processes, getting the people in place. Now it's starting to get to the other point where we're going to, excel the process and start thriving in the business. This is the first year that we've actually, the priority is production, making money. Before that, it was survival until this year.
Yeah.
May will be 3 years in business, and this is the first time that we focus on making money.
Because that was gonna be like my next question too. Is like it's midway through April right now. Like, what are you most excited about? Maybe this year and or next year.
So we just implemented a job costing software that will help us a ton go to the next level. So kind of like what you guys were doing at Max, we'll know every day exactly where we're at on a project. Every project we have, it'll have a percentage of completion. It'll say financially where it's at, and we just implemented it a couple weeks ago.
Fuck yeah.
So we're in the very beginning stages of it.
That's
so
legit.
that's where we're at right now, and I'm pumped. So it's going to allow me a lot of flexibility. And it's going to eliminate a lot of human error, a lot of spreadsheets. Pulling a spreadsheet after I asked for it, and then numbers not being put in right, or just it not being done correctly. This will auto-populate everything for us. So I'm pumped.
That's
I'm
huge.
excited.
Yeah.
I've been working on it, trying to get something like that for a few years, and we haven't had it.
Well, congrats.
Yeah. Is it time for a break? All right, time for a break. I think we're going to get the director of sports performance, Tyler Trevey, on again, and maybe should we do another segment of the Danny Ask Question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. See you after the break.
Break time.
And now with us is Max River Muscle Athletic Director and Director of Sports Performance, Tyler Treadway, with the NSF Amino Recovery. Take it away, Treadway.
Mr. Small Arms,
Ooh, hello.
can you read this blue and orange sticker for me?
Ooh, I think
What
it
is
says NSF,
does that
Certified
say?
Sport.
Boom! NSF, certified for sport, the same amino recovery you're already taking. Just now we put this label on it to make it certified for sport. So what they do is they test every ingredient on this label to make sure that the values match up. So if we say that there's 5,000 milligrams of glutamine, there's actually 5,000 milligrams of glutamine in here. We're not lying to you. Everything that we say is in here is actually in here. On top of that, they tested against 400 ingredients to make sure that you won't fail a drug test. Coaches, athletes, you can take our product knowing that it is safe and it will help you get the results on and off the field. Hit me up, Treadway21 at maxeffortmuscle.com, Treadway21 on social media, so I can help you get better for your sport.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Treadway. Back to the show. Okay, we are back. Thank you, Mr. Treadway, for that amazing NSF ad read. It was definitely scripted. But now I think it's the people were asking, small arms. They love the small arms, ask a question. So we're going to bring it back. So, Danny, take it away.
Yeah, we're actually going to call this Small Arm Says. So
Okay.
this is my segment now. So just a heads up.
Small arm says, okay.
Yeah, sponsored by Not Being Small.
Yeah, Arms Army, shout out.
Yeah, Arms Army. Follow us on social. Maybe you'll get featured. In
Tag
the
us in your arm pics,
yeah,
dude.
tag us
Flex
in your arm
Friday.
pic. DM. I don't even know where I was going to go with that. All right. Well, it's Flex Friday today, obviously. I mean, Jake's choking the bicep already, so
Yep.
we're going to go ahead and collectively go one by one and see what is your go-to bicep superset. If you got 100 reps only, what are you doing for those 100 reps?
Jeez. All right, Tyler, take it away.
Dude, I think maybe it's amateur. I'm sure Jake will tell me if so. Probably just cable curls, because you want to do inside, outside, in the middle. Do you want it lowest angle? Do you want to bump it up? Like
Yeah.
you can do it quick.
There's a lot of versatility there.
That's what she
Yep.
said.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Quickie.
Every single
Yeah.
thing he said. Yeah.
Do like how's the pump?
Had
If
to.
you had to rate the pump for cable curls, what's on a scale of pumpness? What do you give it?
Shit, for me, juicy out of 10.
Okay. Okay. Breaks the scale. Okay.
go.
6 or 9.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
Plus one.
No, cable. Yeah, cables is like probably one of my favorites.
Oh,
too.
that's so good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So 100 reps,
Yeah.
You got 100 reps, Trey.
100 reps, then a 50 rep progression.
Fuck.
That's
Ooh.
exactly where I was going to go.
Regular-
Yeah, he got me.
I like the regular curl and the hammer curl. I think that has always been like an amazing fucking bicep finisher, in my opinion.
That's what.
But
Daddy
other
likes, too.
than that though, one more other one is I fucking love just like 100 rep, just straight bicep curl, just the barbell, like not having like you can't set it down though. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
one set, just
Trey,
fucking repping them out.
yeah.
We had the same exact one, literally.
Yeah, that
I
rep
remember the opener with the 100
Yeah.
empty
Yep.
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
thought
remember
my
doing that.
arms
I
were
remember
literally
doing that
gonna
in fucking high
explode.
school and get stacked.
Yeah, fucking wet.
So I'm going to go old school, chin-ups.
Okay.
Or,
Ooh.
serious bicep pump. And then on the preacher curl bar, and then taking the towel and fighting against the towel, having
Ooh.
a person on
Yeah,
the
that's a
bottom.
good one.
That's old school. I love that
Yeah.
shit.
I could totally see you just sitting there, just kissing your biceps as you go.
Oh, yeah,
through.
making love to him.
Yeah.
The whole time.
I'm inside the
Yeah.
bicep.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talk about like speaking to your biceps. What are some of the things you say?
He's
to your
trying to be
biceps?
serious. Look at him.
Well, I mean, you have to give them confidence.
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
you're fucking
Yeah.
beautiful. You're big. You know,
Yeah.
you look fucking good
You're
today.
big.
You gotta talk about it, right?
You're beautiful.
Just reassure it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and what's crazy is that it's just not for a reason. Like your biceps hear that, and now the pump will start to get nastier.
Dude, I had to tell him a couple months ago, you fuckers are in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The pipe master.
Yeah.
Like, that's real.
Yeah.
You know?
Is there ever like a conversation where maybe they're not hitting, the pump's not there? Do you ever like give them a talk,
Yeah.
basically?
You gotta rub a little bit, you know.
said
Come,
yeah.
Like, wake up.
Yeah,
Let's
you
go.
got, like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
gotta
for
give them a ride.
Jake's
Like,
putting
Absolutely.
yo,
icy hot on
guys,
between
like today's,
sets.
yeah, like on Fridays, like today's the fucking day. Where you guys at?
Sometimes you gotta soft, rub them. Sometimes you gotta smack the shit out of them. Like, hey, let's go, motherfucker. Like,
Oh,
it's time
yeah.
to go.
Oh, yeah.
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 don't
No, that's-
ever let anybody tell you.
You know,
you're
that's
small.
amazing. So, all right, I'm gonna go. So my go-to
Good boy.
is I think this might even take the cake for rep progression, because rep progression has like a good pump to it, right? I'm going with the painful pump, and this is the throwback old MP LaRon Landry workouts, the 28 method.
28
I'm
yeah.
going 28 method barbell
That's a
curls.
good one too. Yeah.
That shit,
Straight or
Yeah.
easy?
we need
I
to
love
bring
it.
those back.
Yeah,
Sure
for real.
sucks.
Yeah.
Which one? Straight or easy bar?
I'm
I
probably
know.
straight.
Yeah.
The
So
straight.
You gotta
The
specify
forearm
there.
pump, the bicep, dude, that shit is painful.
It's
In high
painful.
school, that's how I basically got to being not small. That was like one of the first exercises. That
So
led
I
me
used to
into
do
being not small.
reverse grip, 28 method.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's-
that's
yeah.
fucking wet.
Yeah.
Some of that.
Yeah.
I'll tear you up.
Because I mean, literally, there was probably that 28 method arm workout. Me and like my bros probably did it 12 times, and we never once finished it because our pump was so fucking
Yeah.
nasty.
That's a good one. That's old school too.
That
I
really
like
helped
one.
excel me because like whenever I started out lifting like 14, I was still fitting into a medium t-shirt. That exponentially helped the process of me getting into a large t-shirt and then now into an XL. So that's my go-to.
Good
Not
stuff.
small.
yeah.
Not small.
All right. Well, that was the appropriate place to start, right?
Yes, of course.
All
of
right,
course.
and then kind of going in a different vein here, so kind of shifting gears into like the more of the personal development stuff, so or around that area. So, favorite book, podcast, audiobook that people probably haven't heard about that you recommend.
So mine will be. I have two of them. They're kind of together. A book called Who Not How, and then a book called How the Best Get Better. And I'm in a coaching program, and go to a different seminar every quarter. And part of that seminar they give us books to read constantly. And How the Best Get Better was one that it blew my mind. It was so simple, where it tells you how to manage your time. Growing up, you're structured throughout your whole life. If you have a 9-to-5 job, you're structured. I don't have a clock in, clock out job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of flexibility in my time. And the one thing that I realize is I need structure in my life. I have to create it for myself now because no one else is creating it for me. But having time management, time set aside, day planned out, what you're going to do, am I going to be super productive today? No, I'm smoking cigars. I'm talking to you guys, right?
Yeah.
Today I know what it is. This afternoon I will be. I have a list of things I'm going to take care of this afternoon. Monday, I'm 12 hours of production. It's going to be laid out. So that book kind of opened up the platform to manage time better, and it
Made
was a
sense,
game changer
too.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Who Not How, and I've talked about this 100 times. It talks about Michael Jordan. He was the best basketball player in the league, but he didn't win championships until he had people around him. So it's not how was Michael Jordan the best, because he had people around him. He got Phil Jackson, Scottie Pippen, all the guys around him, and that excelled him to the next level. And that's how we are. I'm not the best, but I want to have everyone around me to help me excel to my next level and excel them. And that was huge. Not how can I do something, who can help me do it.
Yeah.
That mindset
I've actually read some of that book. It's
it's
really
good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
Who wants to go next? Anybody?
I'll go next. This is a big old thick book. It looks like a dictionary, but well worth it. Principles by Ray Dalio. So it takes a while to get through it, and you might have to stop and reread the chapter that you just went through, but to really understand what he means and how you can apply it to your life. But I mean, there are so many things in there. It doesn't matter if you're going through something, at home, family-wise, emotionally, financially, operationally, amongst the team with people that you're trying to, like Jake said, be more cohesive to where you're understanding that when you help others that it'll be reciprocal and that sort of thing. But Principles by Ray Dalio. Take you a while, but well worth it.
Trayvon?
I would say mine would be How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan, which is that book. That book specifically though on how to change your mind has to deal with like psychedelic use. So it's like how to change your mental health using psychedelics essentially. And so it's kind of like a casebook study on he was taking like whether it's like LSD or shrooms or something like that, and like just going out there in the fucking wild, discovering himself, learning why your mind goes in those certain directions when you're under the influence of those things.
Interesting.
What about you, Cole?
That one, Brett?
Mine is so I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about one that probably no one's read. Now, you may have got an excerpt of this in like high school, but it's actually an essay by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it's called Self-Reliance. I believe.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah.
But I haven't
So
read it.
basically, he writes in this essay, and this is all about having confidence in yourself and identifying who you are. Like, what are the things that you believe in? What are the sort of things that, you walk down the street and you identify that this is you, this is who I am, this is what I believe. And I think that's helped me a lot with the confidence of the fucking WWE promos and stuff like that. Just fully buying into that. That essay really lays it out, and it talks about like how there's so much power in that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my recommendation.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go kind of random on this one. One of them is called The Power of Myth. Joseph Campbell's the author. He kind of goes like super deep into like mythology and like the stories in mythology and going into like the meanings behind it and how you can apply it into like real life. So like it's kind of all about like the hero's journey, like how you're like thrown into the fire and then how are you gonna like emerge from that fire like as a new person. Yeah, so that one's really fucking deep. That one took me like a minute to like really resonate. And then another one is let's see, so I'm kind of going like sci-fi here for a minute.
Okay.
God damn it, hold on, someone talk for a second, I gotta remember the title.
Yeah, we'll fill the air, no problem.
One like storybook that I've been reading, which it's called The Old Man and the Sea. Have you ever heard of it? So it's basically it's literally like a fictional story about this old man, just him out in the ocean fishing, and he just talks about all these life things that he wish he would have done, that he thinks about like he can still do, and all this stuff like that. And he's just trying to catch the biggest fish in the world, and he ends up catching it, but he can't reel it in. And it just talks about that entire like process. It's a good self-reflection like thought sort of book.
All right, so the series, it's a 5-book series. He's writing the 6th book right now. If you need to like a little like mental checkout, you want to go into like a fantasy world or whatever, it's called Red Rising. So it kind of like is this like society of like you have like the golds are at the top, the reds are at the bottom, and each class of people have their own specific jobs or whatever. And then it's pretty much all about like the reds like basically up, overthrowing the golds the whole time.
Okay.
So it's fucking brutal.
That's the one you were telling me about, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I'm about to start listening on audio, but that one probably will become a series or a movie or something like that for sure. So.
Oh yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, another question?
That's it, bro.
That was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Two's
Hold on.
good.
Well, here. I want to, since we're talking about books and stuff and you go into sci-fi, I want to know what's everyone's like favorite like superhero movie or creative movie like that and why. So what's yours, Danny?
Well, if I thought of Marvel instantly.
Yeah.
I love Iron Man. The first Iron Man, just because like Tony Stark, and I feel like that's like Robert Downey in real life.
Do you feel like you're Iron Man?
Obviously. Yeah. Yeah.
Smart, rich,
hard
sexy.
AF. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart,
Cool as
rich. I don't know. I think like I love his like sense of humor, so he doesn't take himself too seriously, but he's confident as shit. You know what I mean? Like in anything that he does. You know what I mean? So he just like radiates that. That's why I fuck with him.
Tyler.
I'm not terribly deep into the superhero stuff.
No?
Never was. I mean, even as a kid, like I knew that it was cool
Hater.
and I knew
What
it
do
was
you
part
mean?
of culture.
All right. Well,
So I'll go generic though.
Yeah.
I got
What's
an
like
answer
one
for you.
character you got?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got an answer for you. Probably Superman.
I knew your basic ass was gonna say that.
Well, I know it's generic. I know it's generic. I know
I
it's
just
basic.
love the
That's
F
what
on
you
his
say.
chest.
Yeah.
But it's funny though because I mean it's very it's outrageous, right? He can lift up and hold the weight of the world when he's when it's
and one stone and he's done for though.
right. Yeah, but I just thought it was funny the aspect though that he can do that, but then he goes right back to his journalist job and he puts on a pair of glasses and combs his hair and no one understands that that's him. You know what I mean? It's like understanding how can you do that in essence and blend and be in both spots. You know what I mean? You don't always have to be recognized and everyone falling over you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Do you also feel like
Incognito.
you also see yourself whenever he dresses up in the suit with the glasses and stuff like that?
I just think of C.T. Fletcher calling him Superman from Compton.
Oh, okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Yeah, that's it. And he has a cat. Badass
Nice.
Superman from Compton has a cat. That's what he said. I actually thought that was cool.
Shout out CT.
Anyway.
Trayvon.
So similar to Tyler's, I like Batman. I like Bruce Wayne though for the same reasons because he's like fucking multi-billionaire and then he just goes back and just does like business and shit.
Fuck with that.
But I would say my favorite movie though is kind of cliche, but I would say like the Batman Dark Knight.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
I mean like I don't think anybody can argue with that one.
No, absolutely.
No, that's a staple for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm Batman, Superman, both. basically because not small.
Guns.
Pipes.
Yeah.
Because of pipes.
I always like Spider-Man. I really don't know why.
Spider-Man's
Yeah,
awesome.
I don't know if it's because it's like the underestimated person that was trying to save the world or do too much all the time, right? And always affected people around him. And then he excelled and he ended up doing everything that he sought out to do. And I don't know if I always kind of latched onto that. But me and my daughter watch Spider-Man all the time. She absolutely loves it. Loves it.
That's great.
We probably watched that new one that just came out. I don't know, 100 times already.
That one's really good.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Oh, yeah.
I would say, I'm gonna have to go OG along with Batman. Now, I respect Bruce Wayne. I like the Batman. Actually, every paper in high school that I wrote, I used Batman because of just the character dynamic and all that stuff. Huge inspiration. But I'm gonna go not Batman, but in the Batman universe, Bane. Bane's my biggest
Get some,
inspiration.
baby.
It's not
Yeah.
surprising.
Dude lived in darkness,
Traps.
just fucking grinded, and then he had his revolution he was trying to happen. I respect that.
The
And-
League of Shadows.
Yeah, he's fucking yoked. He's dark, and he's just straight up like on it. He's on edge.
Yoked and dark.
So that's like my.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Most underrated Batman character though is Nightwing.
Who?
Nightwing. Nightwing is like fucking badass.
Yeah.
So badass. It's just a badass superhero.
Yeah. Also, you guys need to watch Peacemaker on HBO. It's like he's like supposed to be a villain, but he's not a villain. It's kind of a weird dynamic, but it's John Cena, and it's awesome.
Gotcha.
It's awesome. So
That's
highly
why I
recommend
recommended
check
it.
that out.
It's good.
Yeah, I think this is good. All right, this has been the Roundtable podcast with co-hosts of the leader of the Arms Army, Small Arms Danny, special guest Tyler Sealover, Trey Speed, and not small Jacob
Pipe Master.
Emery, Pipe Master, CEO of Laying Pipe. Roundtable podcast. We are out.